going on, man? We back in black. In the building. Shout out to everybody out there at the Court Plantation. Vegas in the building. Shout out to Georgia. David in the building. David from No Compromise. Shout out to Texas. James Youngblood in the building. Shout out to the homegirl Erica. Florida in the building, a.k.a. Florida. Shout out to the homegirl Shawnee. Philly is definitely in the building. And again, shout out to Vegas. All my siblings. Everybody out there. Dajo, Angelo. Everybody out there. Shout out to them. Man, shout out to the homegirl Melina, North Carolina, a.k.a. North Kakalaka. I want to get into this real quick. Fat Joe Haiti. We're going to break this down real quick. Let's get it. We're going to break this down real quick. Let me see if I can find the audio of him on Math Hoffa's show saying some very disparaging things about the FBA culture. So we're going to see what we can find. Let's see. Come on. There we go. Here, let's see. Okay. Let's see if they... Okay. Let's see. No. Let's see what we can find. Let's see what we can find. And then...
How to turn a chilly 50-degree room into a comfortable 7...
No. People in these dumbass commercials. Alright. This better not be nobody trolling. Get to it, bro. Man. People be using these Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go.
Rapper that you know is stacked.
No, we don't want to hear Math Hoffa. We don't want to hear him. Let's get to it.
Gary, time to be a celebrity.
Yeah. Has anything changed for the better for you specifically?
Richer.
You said the world changed on me. Is any part of this?
Now remember, he owed the IRS a whole lot of money. So I believe a lot of what he's saying is coming from the Democratic Party. Somebody's giving him his talking points. Because if you listen to him, he's not very articulate.
Change been positive?
That's the whole argument we had today. We had a real argument
Who's
in the
away?
car today, me and my crew. Because I said 2024 is the worst year to me in history or in hip hop. It really has.
Well,
and listen, I don't feel good when I'm the only one making money. I want us all to make money.
Stop. Let's see, because they might not play.
Lil Durk, Young Thug.
Well, that's the only good thing was,
Hold on.
I think, we got 17 Muslim brothers and sisters that died in the Bronx.
Yeah, see, they're not going to play.
Nothing can stop this. I don't know what's going on. We in dark times.
No, we need to find. No. See, that's what I'm saying. He might have took it down. Fat Joe talking about FBA. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's go. Okay, let's see if this is it.
These rumors were made by radical black
Radical. Don't that sound like the Democratic Party?
racist. It's just
Black Americans, foundational Black Americans cannot be racist. You own no chips. You own no planes, no boats, no corporations. You don't own the land. You can't be racist. Racism, according to Dr. Clyde Edison, is the competition of resources. You don't own any resources, black people. So how could you be racist? Because when you own the resources, you could bend people to your will. But when you don't own them, you can't do any of those things. So black people cannot be racist. Because the minute a black person tries to be racist, the system will counter that by removing you from the chessboard because they own all the resources. So let's not allow him to take it out of context because Fat Joe ain't read nothing.
let's just say that. Okay, it's a group of these guys.
He said it's a group of foundational Black Americans or Black Americans. I didn't know we were a group of 43 million.
That don't want to hear Jamaican, don't want to hear Guyanese, don't want to hear.
We would like our Jamaican brothers and sisters to start calling out Fat Joe. We would like our Puerto Rican brothers and sisters to start calling out Fat Joe. And in terms of this, Fat Joe, you shouldn't really say that unless you have the history to back that. No one never said we don't want to hear Jamaicans and all that. We're just delineating and being proud of being a foundational Black American and building this country for free without repayment. That's what this is about. You know, there is a debt that is owed to us, and we have to delineate from the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans and everyone else, because we have to set things clear, and we can't let people convolute the argument or muddy up the waters and make it something else. And I think that's what Fat Joe is trying to do. I think somebody gave him these talking points because, as you can see, again, he's not very articulate at all.
They don't want to hear a black guy that ain't down with them.
We don't want to hear a black guy that ain't down with us. What does that mean, Fat Joe? Explain. What does that mean that's not down with us? Fat Joe, stick to rapping. You're a moron, bro. You sound very idiotic in your terms and your speaking points, because it seems like somebody gave them to you, because what you're saying doesn't make sense. Oh, these black radical racists that they don't want to hear Jamaican, because Tariq Nasheed made a documentary called Microphone Check, The Untold Story of Hip Hop. And he had a lot of the creators of hip hop in this movie, in this documentary, and they were speaking in terms of, no, there wasn't no Jamaican presence. Basically, you're lying. And then he even said some very negative things about Lord Jamar. Shout out to Lord Jamar, Guy Body, 5% Nation. And he doesn't want to have a debate with Lord Jamar. Jamar will run rings around him. He knows that. We know that. So let's see what else he's got to say.
Right? So their job is to criticize anybody.
So we have a job to no. Our job is to delineate from other racial groups. You have your Puerto Rican Day Parade. You have all your CARICOM and the islands and all that. That's good. Y'all go there and build up your homeland. We are happy here being in the United States of America Incorporated, a place that we build from the ground up, a place where our family died, blood, sweat, and tears on this landmass. And I think what Fat Joe's problem is, he cannot trace his lineage back here because you guys are from Puerto Rico. So as Donald Trump said, didn't y'all have a problem with toilet tissue not too long ago? And you sitting up here talking about us? Okay.
Who don't look like them, or who ain't Black American.
Who are these guys?
You want me to?
And Math Alpha, you are not a Black American, so that's why y'all egging it on.
Saying that we're gonna give them too much clout.
I mean,
we don't need no clout. This is our country. We built it for free without repayment. You are what we would call, what would we call him? An agent. We would call you an agent provocateur. We would call you the battery in the backpack. What else would we call you? We would call you not just the tether. We would just call you an end user of the game, and you flipped it, and now you think you're one of them. So I just don't understand why you think you're giving us clout when Paul Wall went on the Breakfast Club and gave us clout. He said it. He said, no, there's a lot of immigrants and it's a lot of people out there in Texas. He said there's a lot of black people. They was like, what you mean black? He's like FBA black people. See, that term is big. I'm telling you, when you know the history and that term is going to be very big.
The FBA, Foundational Black Authority, whoever
the Foundational Black Authority. Oh, Fat Joe.
Fuck these broke niggas is.
See? And you see how they all laugh? I don't know who the fuck these broke niggas is. And before we're all done, our job is to cancel people like that. You can't come among us and have all this vitriol and then use us. That's why one of the dudes that was in this crew was like, Fat Joe was in conversations with other dude when they were talking very negatively about black people. And Fat Joe was right there. And he know it. He know that for sure.
Black Authority, whoever the fuck these broke niggas is.
And you see how they laughing? Now, if you go back and look at a Breakfast Club when Fat Joe had to pay the IRS $1.5 million and had to go and do prison time, he wasn't laughing about that. And now all of a sudden, the dominant society has taken you in, and now you call us broke niggas. This is why you don't allow people to come amongst you and use your culture and then do what the fuck they want to do. And once they get on, it's fuck you.
I'm just keeping it a buck. And that shit is to attack everybody on Twitter. You see this nigga who run them? Like,
Who's the nigga that runs us? I don't understand. Oh, he's talking about Tariq Nasheed. He's talking about Tariq Nasheed. See, a grown man would just pick up the phone and call him. Or a man would say, hey, man, can you reach out to him and let's have a conversation? It's like, what's up with all this, bro? Like, what's up with the documentary? What's up with this, man? Because I was taught something else. Can we have a conversation about this? No, you want to go on another podcast and act like a female. And let me tell y'all something. When people of other racial groups don't know their own history and don't read books and don't have any type of knowledge that they possess of themselves, about history, they're going to start slinging mud like domesticated primates. Or in Fat Joe's case, we would call him the Ozempic polar bear.
Your leader, man, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. And so they trying to change the narrative. They're not from New York.
Right.
But you're not from this country, Fat Joe. You're from Puerto Rico. So why don't you build up Puerto Rico? Why is it everybody has this pride in a whole nother country? I remember one time these Hispanics worked at this company and, Cinco de Mayo and all that. I said, well, why don't y'all act like that at the job? Oh, that's right. Because you turn into a white Hispanic once you go to the corporate plantation, huh? That Latino pride and all that bullshit goes out the window once the dominant society walks in there, huh? Right. You can hide it. You could be a white Hispanic and they were like, what do you mean? Like Emilio Estevez. They was like, who is that? I was like, that's Charlie Sheen's brother. One of the Latinos was like, no, it ain't. No, Charlie Sheen, he's white, my friend. No, sir. My friend. He's not. He's a white Hispanic. He just changed his name. His brother's name is Emilio Estevez. They went to Santa Monica High School. They just grew up around white people, so they more identify as white. White Hispanic. And that's what our Ozempic polar bear is doing right now. He's identifying as a white Hispanic. And he thinks talking negatively about Foundation of Black Americans, he thinks he's going to get him somewhere. He's going to be just like Kamala Harris and the rest of that crew.
So they telling a whole nother story. This was whoopity doop wop.
How could you tell another story?
These rumors.
How could you tell another story like
were
that?
Made by.
Let me pause it. We'll go back. Let's go back. Hold on. Let's go to yep. Oh, everybody going in on him. Our brother Philip Scott is going in on him. I want to see what's it? Cuban Link? Yeah, I think it was Cuban Link that was here. I'm gonna play this and then we're gonna be done. Okay, I think it's Cuban Link. It's gotta be Cuban Link because that's what we don't fuck with. Okay, Cuban. Okay, let's see. All right. Hold on. Okay, Cuban Link on Fat Joe's alleged racist comments. Let's see what Cuban Link says. He was a part of the terror squad. So we're going to see what Cuban Link has to say. Because he was a part of the terror squad. So we're going to see. Okay, here we go. All right. All right, hurry up.
You saw the Smooth interview, right? Where he spoke about being in the
Salute to
studio.
Smooth, yes, sir. Smooth always been a real one, a good one. He's been taken out of conversation since he wasn't been brought out like that.
This is
and the
Cuban
reason
Link.
why I told you, interview that brother, is not because, he takes my side. He just knows the truth, and he's a humble dude that's going to speak it the way he saw it, the way he processed it.
He's talking about another guy that has issues with Fat Joe as well.
The way it was.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I told you, yo, my nigga, Smooth, when you asked me who's Smooth, and he didn't go through me, he told you.
Yeah, he reached out to me directly.
And then when you reached out and said, yo, who is this guy? I told you who he was. But I haven't talked to Smooth in 16, 17 years.
All right, get to it.
Just like I said, I told you, if you ever get to interview Joe, speak your truth. Let me see if I watch it in a way of, let me see if I could even see how he might have came up with that.
Because, they say that Fat Joe be lying and embellishing the truth and adding extra shit and just lying.
when I see flaws and rise and you're trying to change history of because you have a motive, then I can see that. And I just want to recognize the snakes, and I want to recognize the real, who, because in this society, this is that we're living on. Oh my God, we can see it to the highest level of transgender dudes trying to act like they're real women. So the lying part of life right now is, I relate all of that, all them facts, how the status of the world is right now, to all these lies being told by these people that are in power, especially in the music industry, that they're trying to change the history, so they can suit them.
Yep.
They're looking past.
See, exactly. They're trying to crowbar themselves into Black American history as if they were the co-creators, and that's a motherfucking lie.
Damage they're doing with their lies and the credit they're taking from other people, and really the damage they're doing, man, to the game. And it's been a way of life for them. So right now we can really see them in action coming out and showing us this, like, how retarded do you sound, or how crazy are you are. Like me, I sit back and say this, but it's like, it's not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched. I see the temperature of the world. That's why I told you before, gangsters are the biggest snitches. Liars are the biggest truth tellers. Like, it's upside down. And it's not just in this music game. It's everywhere.
Right.
It's everywhere. So, Joe is definitely a part of that.
It's crazy because, like, before I started watching some of the old interviews, and you've brought up Smooth plenty of times, I just forgot his name of who you were talking about, but you have brought him up before, Now, the clip in our interview, he said that there was a time where you guys were all in the studio and Joe started to...
Listen to this. I want y'all to listen to this. Y'all like, where's one going? Listen to this.
In our interview, he said that there was a time where you guys were all in the studio and Joe started to make certain comments about, the Morenos have had their time. Now it's...
Did y'all hear that? Now, I went on Instagram Live and I quoted, because I remember David from No Compromise. Shout out to my brother David. David was the first person I heard besides my mother, because my mother used to tell us all the time. Tosh, you remember this? When we used to go to my mom's house, my mom used to be like, Puerto Ricans don't fuck with no niggas. They call us Morenos. Yup. And if you listen to Big Pun, Boricua, Morena, that's what they call us. Jungle music, that bullshit. And my mom used to tell us that. My sister remember that shit. Bring a Puerto Rican around my mom. Mom would be like, Puerto Rican, huh? she used to be going in. We used to just think my mom was crazy, but she'd be like, they don't fuck with Black people like that. See, growing up on the West Coast, there's a distinction between Latino and Black. Now, you have some Latinos that like Black culture and Black art form, but they don't want to commingle, which is fine with us because we're the gods on earth anyway. Then you have the Latino community that don't fuck with us at all. And they stay to themselves and we stay to ourselves. That's how we grew up. But on the East Coast, it's a fake melting pot because it's very segregated. People be trying to act like it ain't segregated, but it is. So listen.
Our time. And he felt like it was like an underlining racist tone to it, even though I asked him, I was like, could it have just been pro-Spanish? Like, isn't this, like that's possible without you being racist? Yeah. But man, roll the clip.
Like you said at the start of this, like a lot of people thought that I was Spanish. So, he would be on the movement of, us Latinos got to make it. We got to do this. We got to do that. And I'm listening like, wow.
Uh-huh. And this brother is Black, but they thought he was Spanish. So they got comfortable and started talking shit about Black folk.
Wow. Because at the time, it was a lot of brothers doing the music, and he was coming in throughout, digging in the crates and all these other brothers that was putting him on. So I guess he felt like, damn, it's time for us to like take over. So I would listen to that, and I would take heed to like,
how you gonna take over something you didn't create, and you're not that talented, Fat Joe? I didn't think Fat Joe's music was bad. I didn't think it was all good, but I didn't think it was bad. But nigga, you're not a top tier artist, my G. They're pushing you out there because you're the Ozempic polar bear. Nobody cares about Fat Joe. Fat Joe, you ain't never had no hit like that where we respect. Yeah, you had Lean Back, But that was in 2004. It's 2024. You ain't had no hits since. I Make It Rain with another foundational Black American, Lil Wayne. Come on. I'm waiting to see when he gonna stand on his own 2 feet and make it. Because he can't. Your music isn't that great. And I'm a music junkie. Like, your music is a C average music. You put it on. And half the shit that I play with Fat Joe, guess who did the beats? Timbaland, a foundational Black American. So I don't know why motherfuckers is like, nigga, who do you think you are? I think he overvalues himself.
Okay, it's kind of like a little racist, but it is what it is. It ain't nothing bad, but
a little racist.
It's just like, I guess he was so pro Latino that he was really.
Then why don't you do Puerto Rican music? Why don't you rep your culture and do your music? Because your music doesn't make any money. That's why you had to come to hip hop like every other racial group does. They kind of hip hop because that's where the money could be made and you could be seen, because the record industry is ran by the dominant society. So they'll push who they like a lot of the times. Because raw, hardcore hip hop, you'll get destroyed. Nobody's looking at you and taking you serious.
When that rhetoric at that time, he was trying to take it to another level.
Well, okay.
Pun was the first one.
Let me play devil's advocate. Okay, so was it racist, or was it just that like he was really proud and trying to put on the other side of it because there wasn't really any prominent,
But we didn't create hip hop for other racial groups to come and exploit it, though. That's why other racial groups who try to come and exploit it, they end up being non-successful. And the reason why they're non-successful, because a lot of these other racial groups, their music isn't that great and it doesn't last the test of time like a Sean Carter, Jay-Z, or a Nas, or a Cube, or a Snoop, or Dr. Dre, you know what I mean? Or The Game, or, those type of people. Their music has withstood the test of time. Nobody's talking about Fat Joe.
I mean, that within the culture.
Well, I ain't going to downplay. I'm going to tell you straight up. He was on some like, the Morenos been doing this for years. It's time for us to come in.
Yep, exactly. Them Moolies, them Morenos been doing it for years, so fuck them niggas, and now it's our turn. That's what he was saying.
You know what I'm saying? And that's basically how it was stated. And that's how I heard it. And I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. It's pro. It's pro. But at the same time, it was a little bit of shade there, a little bit.
But he got put on by black artists,
exactly.
That's what I was thinking the whole time I'm here.
Because they use you to get into a position and then they get you to fuck on. He don't fuck with no black people like that. He used that nigga to act like he do, but he don't.
That. But I'm saying to myself, who am I? I'm just here just listening. I'm just taking in what he's saying. I'm taking in because I'm in a room full of black Latin brothers that are all in the music industry. You got to understand that too. I'm the only person there personally at the time that looked like I was. So I got in where I fit in, but Here we go. That's the rhetoric that was pumped because he felt comfortable. He was in his own world at the time too. Like, you're in a closed environment. You got your people that look up to you. And you got
so you can say what you really feel.
Exactly.
And how you really feel is, fuck these Morenos, and it's time for us to take over. And you see, they can't take over at all. Even Nori, he's Puerto Rican and black. Guess what, though, Nori? Pharrell Williams, a foundational Black American, put you on. That's your biggest hits are from foundational Black Americans. So stop.
Well, it's possible. It's possible. I don't think that's wrong to say. Now, if you say it where you demean them, where you're saying that, all these niggers and they'll have their turn, you say it like that. But I don't think Moreno is a word that when we inside a clique is a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
It depends how you say it.
Yeah, no. You saying that, but no. If we were to be like, yeah, them Puerto Rican motherfuckers or them spics or what, if we use a derogatory term towards y'all wouldn't like that either. In Morena, to us, that's derogatory. I would classify that as a jareer or a cotton picker, something like that.
So like you say nigger, and all that, it's a way of racial tone that you could pronounce that where we could notice. Now, if he took it like he said, the ER, the hard ER, when he said Morenos, but when we said, damn Morenos, I'm sick of them, some jealousy part to it, and I understand.
And that's probably how he said it.
if you're around me saying those things, I mean, I've been around there where Joe definitely told stories of that showed his racist side to it because he went through things in the past where he was being bullied by black.
Exactly. And there you have it. That's what a lot of this is with these immigrants and these tethers. They were bullied by black folks. Black folks probably roasting their asses and clowning their asses. So now this is your get back and shaking hands with. That's why any Caribbean, anybody that's not from here, they're going to agree with him. But the people that are from this country are not going to be in agreement with it.
So I understand it. I'm more understandable to that thing. But I don't think at the end of the day he shows racism. When it comes to one-on-one, I think he feels better than the black person. But I think as a whole culture, I think he knows how to embrace black and brown together.
So basically, one-on-one, you think you're better than black people. But culturally, you know, our culture outshines yours. So now you want to embrace the black and Latino, the black and Latino and all this. That's why you're trying to super insert yourself, your culture into creating hip hop. And that's not true. And that's why they mad at Tariq Nasheed for doing Microphone Check, because it is telling the true essence of hip hop in its glory and how it was not created no 50-50 by no fucking crazy legs and all these other lion tethering ass Puerto Ricans.
That's what I mean.
So with the conversation that Smooth was talking about, do you felt like that came across as like racist in any way?
I didn't take it as racist.
Okay.
Because
of course you're not gonna take it as racist. You Cuban.
Yeah, I'm desensitized from that. I'm desensitized because I'm inside the crew. Right. So I know the Spanish language well. I know our position well.
The Spanish, yeah, right.
In the business stratosphere of the game. We all the only Spanish dudes that are making noise, and black people are embracing us. And it's really, you know, he was taking it in the business, maybe tone of voice where it's like us against them, but yet we gotta be that crew that stands out. But at the end of the day, the moral foundation is that we all in this together. And just because we're Spanish,
we're not all in this together. When you read Slavery by Another Name, I'm gonna keep saying that, they're not talking about Spanish people. Well, not Spanish people, because Spaniards would not even deal with you. Spaniards are Pau Gasol and Marc Gasol. Those are Spaniards. They're from Spain and they speak Spanish, and they will look at any other Hispanic group or Latino group and laugh at y'all. You guys are not from Spain and you're not Spaniard. So no, we're not going to use those terms. Read The Price for a Pound of Flesh. They ain't talking about no Hispanics. They talking about black folk.
We don't want to separate ourselves. I'm talking me, Pun. We don't want to separate ourselves that we black, we Spanish. We together in this. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But as far as being a leader, he giving that pro-Spanish speech where it's like we have to stand out and even be better. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Okay.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing because you guys aren't better. So that's why it's a bad. Terror Squad, you got Remy Ma and Fat Joe. Remy Ma's last actual album, that was like in 2003. So, and I had that last album, Plato Plomos. It wasn't really that great. All the Way Up was okay, but I didn't really listen to it because I didn't really think it was a great album.
I think it's just, to put fire to us in that way. So I didn't think that. But if you're black and you're in that conversation, I could see where you might think that.
Right. Because then, we got to remember that Smooth has said that, he has passed for Spanish before. Like, people thought that he was Spanish, but he's just because of he's a lighter tone, in his skin.
Like a little Dominican dude.
Right.
Puerto Rican. But we all are the same. There's black people that are charcoal in Puerto Rico and Cuba that you might think they're African or, they're black. We all together, man. That's the whole...
We're not all together.
The whole foundation of what our movement is, that's including my words, when my stand on that category, Pun's stand on that category, Stacey's stand on that category. So,
That's all. I just wanted y'all to hear that. Because I didn't want y'all to just hear what Fat Joe was saying. You want to hear what the other people were saying. And he probably was saying that shit. And he probably did have vitriolic feelings towards foundational black Americans. That's why he's talking that shit about Tariq Nasheed of making that microphone check, because it obliterates and eviscerates those lies that have been told about this 50-50 bullshit, because now there's some money to be made. You can't get money in sponsorships if you didn't create hip-hop, Fat Joe, aka the Ozempic polar bear, is what that's what he is. He's an Ozempic polar bear. He was a heart attack. He was a hot dog away from a stroke. He started taking that Ozempic, and now he's the Ozempic polar bear. That's what I call him. Because he just think he's so fly, don't he? He think he's so fly. You're not Cameron, sir. You're not. Cameron is fly. Mace is fly. Fat Joe, you're not fly. You look like a bald bull on Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Stop. You look like Forrest Whitaker's son. Stop. Ozempic polar bear, you need to be quiet, and that's what's gonna happen. I heard that Math Alpha took that episode down. You know why he took it down? Because foundational black Americans and black Americans period was in them comments like, yeah, we're gonna boycott Fat Joe. Yeah, we're gonna go to Nike. He's racist. He done said nigga 30 different times. You're not black. You shouldn't be saying it. And you're racist. And now Math Alpha's like, oh shit, let me back up. Well, that's what you get. You wasn't saying that when you was laughing. You wouldn't say that when you were laughing. Stop, man. Stop. This is when I knew something was different. I remember when Irv Gotti, like they kept asking him about Ashanti. So he gave his rendition on Ashanti. Then Fat Joe jumps into it. Oh, stop, Irv, and leave it alone. You don't get a chance to make that decision and say that. But a lot of these immigrant groups, they get amongst the dominant society and they try to start telling you what to do. I remember I was at this corporate plantation, right? And this dude that I work with, he's Asian. So, you know, most Asian immigrants, they don't trace back to the 1800s. So, you know, he gets around the dominant society. You know, we all put him on. All the foundational black Americans in that department put him on. Then we put him on, and then after that, he started acting different. So a lot of the other people, especially the white people, was looking at him like, dog, what you doing? So it got to the point where he want to come translate something to me of what they told him to say to me. I said, let them come tell me. You don't get in the middle of that, dog, because they'll step on you and keep it moving. Guess what happened? Out of there. Got him right up out of that paint because he thought he was just like them. And they'd had to let him know, you're not like us, sir. You are our tool. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talked to him since, and I thought it was quite funny because that's how a lot of these immigrant groups act. They come over here and they get a pet by white daddy and my white mommy, and then they think they supposed to be telling black folk what to do. That's what they think. They think they supposed to be telling black people what to do. No. And that's what Fat Joe is doing. The Ozempic polar bear. He think he can tell black people what to do and what we got to do, and we broke niggas. Okay, build up your homeland. I heard they ain't had no toilet tissue in a while. So I'm waiting to still, I love, like I said, shout out to Dikembe Mutombo. Dikembe Mutombo came to the United States of America to play basketball to do what? To build up his homeland. He didn't come here to talk shit about black folk and do whatever the sucker shit he was doing. That nigga was trying to build up his homeland where he was from and died trying to do it. We need more immigrants. Do what Dikembe Mutombo was doing. Don't come over here and try to tell us what the fuck we supposed to be doing. Why don't you do what you're supposed to be doing? Don't you come over here to get money to build up your homeland? You should be trying to build up your homeland every chance you get, Fat Joe. But Fat Joe's too busy trying to get up all the money he can while he can, because he knows eventually this is all going to run out. It's his time is almost up. You can already tell. That's why he's crashing out, name calling. You see the layer of these niggas? Well, why don't you sit down and have a conversation with Tariq? Because you know what's gonna happen. You're gonna get embarrassed. And a lot of the people that are your fans, it's going to expose how you really feel. I think a lot of people have already been exposed to how Fat Joe really feels about black folk. I just thought I would play that interview of Cuban Link that was a part of the Terror Squad and not no more. And I heard that Big Pun's wife sued Fat Joe because he didn't want to pay no money because he collected a lot of money. Fat Joe, you need to make sure you got your shit straight before you start talking about black Americans. And Stop taking Ozempic and maybe it can get your mind right. Guilty, nigga. I'm out. Peace.